Hi, this is Bhavna and you're watching India Today. Well, today I have two actors who are all set to make you fear a bit and also entertain you with their new show, Bhay, the Gaurav Tiwari Mystery, and two actors who I really enjoy watching on screen as well, Karan Tacker and Danish. Firstly, a huge welcome.
Thank you.
How are you?
Oh, fantastic actually. On a day when you're doing promotions and you're ready for release and you package the show and you see like it turning out like the way it did, you're really in a deep amount of gratitude and excited at the same time because there's so much work that goes into making a production. And we shot this about a year and a half ago, and to finally see it coming and seeing it the light of the day, so very, very excited.
And I see a sense of confidence which on your face, which is again not very common as well. Like sometimes you see people are tense, but I see you're very confident. That means that the show has really turned out well.
My one learning from my little bit of career that I've had as an actor, I've realized that what I look forward to is always the shooting experience of it, right?
The process.
That's my biggest take back, and if I've enjoyed that, I've realized that the outcome of it is absolutely not in your hands. You make a product which you shot about 2 years earlier, it comes out in a very different time. You don't know what the variables are in terms of what the audience is going to respond to, what's trending topics, what are the trending genres, what films are doing well. So I've realized there's so much that is not in your control. The only thing that's in my control is the filming experience of it, and I try to just live with that, and that's my only takeaway. So I've become much more calm around releases. Having said that, we're all actors, we're all putting up a face.
And I'm going to complete it. It's a really good show.
I have so much acidity at this moment out of sheer anxiety. But it's still exciting.
But I feel like it's been a fantastic year for you, irrespective. I mean, you went to Cannes, you represented there another film, and then of course, the adulation that you got for that, that's different, and now another show.
I also had special ops this year,
Yeah, that was
so that has
been quite a year for me.
Quite a year, and every role has been very different in ways.
I want people to realize it. That's the only thing as an actor
Do you
I'm
think
trying.
they don't?
I don't think people really give you that much time in the day to be like, oh, you know what, you're trying very hard as an actor to find scripts that are very different from each other. But my endeavor has always been to create different people, and to quote K.K. Menon, he said that one day I want to sit in the room with all the characters that I've played and never feel like any of them
have been similar
are the same people. So that's my that's what I desire as an actor, and I'm glad that you recognize it.
But I want to know, I mean, before I come to Danish again, like you said, the endeavor is to do different kind of roles each time, right? Is that one of the reasons why you have chosen to perhaps stay away from work for a while if need be, but choose the kind of project that you really want to do? Because there have been a bit of gap in between, which I know can be seen as a very risky situation for actors.
Well, I don't look at that as a risky situation at all. I mean, just to answer that first. Ironically, the work that I did post-Khaki has all happened to come in 1 year. See, this industry is also very precarious, right? There's a lot of things that are not in your control. And if you're aware, I think entertainment as an industry has really gone through its low post-COVID. So there's a lot of realigning that's happening between platforms. Some platforms have shut, some have merged. A lot of handshakes have happened. So if you understand the business of it, where the core industry is at, you'll realize that there is a lot of relearning that's happening because of which the volume of work is most definitely less. That's to wholesomely answer your question. As far as me as an actor is concerned, I anyways like to do one project a year. I don't like to do more than that because I have a belief that you possibly can't play different human beings if you are doing multiple projects in 1 year. That is also an approach. I'm not condemning it because I know a lot of other actors would like to do that volume. I feel like the reason why, let's say, a journalist like you says that, oh wow, when your characters look different, is because you're giving one project a good 6 to 8 months, right? From the point of signing it, to putting it together, to getting to the writing stage, to pre-production, to ideating, to sitting on casting, to going on floor, then dubbing, then releasing, then marketing. It's a very lengthy process. And while I know that actors just come in for those 50, 60 days, I like to involve myself as much as I can, given the productions.
Post-production as well.
That in all these aspects, so you are bound to work on a project for 8 months. And I did 3 projects in 2.5 years. I think that's a very decent average.
Of course, but I mean, like,
I'll also tell you something. Sorry not to cut you, but if And I see this, what is happening with Hindi films or actors that you see everywhere. I just can't believe them as characters anymore. I only see them as the actors that they are, as the names that they are, as the stars that they are. Because you'll see them from campaigns, looking, behaving, acting the same way. You'll see them in films doing the exact same thing. Because I don't think they take that much time off to prep. Is why you've got greats like Ranbir Kapoor, Alia Bhatt, Ranveer Singh, Amitabh Bachchan. You talk about these people in that much more gravitas and respect because you don't see them that often. Leonardo DiCaprio does one film in 6 years. You know, you see directors internationally working on one project for 7 years. You know, and that's what makes it special, right? That's what makes a character believable. If you're just churning out like a factory, I don't see value add in that.
Absolutely. And I think that's the endeavor. I can see your goal is very set, like you want to do it the way you want to. And I think that's
why I never feel like it's a risk. If anything, I think it's a reward for the longer run. Look at Amir Khan, right? How many times you see Amir Khan on celluloid or outside getting spotted or doing multiple brands in a year? You don't, right? That's why when he does a character, you totally believe him.
Yeah. Danish, do you also agree with this process or are you
thinking differently? I think we're as actors, we like to be different people and we like to perform, and there's a lot of versatility that we exude in our performances. But that being said, as an actor, I feel like there's a bit of selfishness that I have, and I feel that that's what I sometimes bring when I come to the craft because I want to give in more and more and I want to get more. So since we're like, as we're working and there are more projects coming in, I'd like to do as much as I can. That being said, I'm not saying I'm going to pick up like 10 projects a year. If I'm lucky in 10 days and I have time allotted in the middle, I'd like to. But yes, for sure, doing a couple of projects and try to give more, and because it's also learning, it's also being there. Our lives are there. Like we spend as actors when we're performing, that's the artist's life that we live. That's our work that we love doing, and that's why we're in this. So I'd like to do as much as I can, as much as I could, and as much as I can do with the amount of strength that I have mentally, physically, capably that I could do it.
But are there certain things that you're looking for when you say yes to any character? Because again, I mean, with OTT, thankfully, we have projects where each character is as important as, say, the protagonist, which unlike films, I mean, in films, there's a certain limitation when it comes to that. But within that limit itself, do you have certain parameters which you consider before you say?
Definitely, there's so much. Like, I mean, reading, like the first time we were reading it together, there's so much that Bhay has that I've never seen in shows that have existed in and around India. The story, the way it comes on, the writing, and the way every character, we're real people actually. So like Gaurav Tiwari is here, this is Siddharth. Siddharth exists in a real life. He stays, does a job. So we're living lives that people have already lived. And look, the way they witnessed a life around it, like in India, paranormal is something it's too niche a space to kind of like fully explore, and because it exists, but Gaurav Tiwari was the starter, the beginner champion of it. The person who kind of made it look cool in a way. Like, there's the way of shade of a little bit of class that he got because of the work that he had done, the way he was even known outside of India, and shows he did with MTV. Like, there's so much, and stories that are so intriguing, so interesting to know. I'd love to be part of them, and I'd love to do characters which have some amount of realness to them, also depth, and makes me feel like I'd want to do more.
Yeah, but like you said, although it's kind of fictionalized, right? It's inspired from true events, but it's still based on people that we perhaps know or have heard of, right?
Yeah.
Is that slightly daunting versus when you're playing a character which is completely fictional? Because then you can really add layers to that person without really caring what people would think about it. But when we have references in real life, is that more difficult or the other way around? To both of you, but because Danish is asking.
I feel like there's a way to treat both of them differently. There'd be like when you're playing someone of a maybe like a historical figure. Like, I mean, it'd be different from Karan because he's doing Gaurav Tiwari, which is a completely different space.
Absolutely, yes.
Siddharth, we got to meet him once or twice, and there's this really amount of sweetness and he was a lovely guy. I met him, and you never knew that he was a paranormal investigator until he started talking about it. But there's an intensity that he brought when he started talking about the work that he had done, the projects and how each case that they solved was so different from another. So taking bits of it and adding a bit so that, there's also this creative liberty that we also as an actors to add to it.
Absolutely.
That being said, had it Siddharth been another different figure completely or something that I had to really meet him and talk to him about, sure, it'd be a completely different process.
What about you, Karan? What is easier?
I mean, given the fact that I played Khaki, which was based on
Again,
IPS
yes.
Amit Lodha, and who is a real person, and given the fact that Gaurav is also a real person, or was.
Absolutely, yeah.
I generally have an approach, if the director doesn't require me to treat it like a biopic, where I need to emulate maybe the mannerisms or the physicality of the real person, then I'm better off not meeting the person. Because what happens as an actor is that I don't want to stay limited on set. By if this situation happened, this actor would be the real person would behave like that.
Yeah.
See, because you are creating an extended version of incidents that happen in a human being's life and dramatizing in a certain way. You don't want to be limited by the physicality of the human being unless that's the requirement.
True.
So even when it came to Khaki, I never met Amit Lodha. I met him, in fact, on the day when I was filming for the show. And that was a conscious decision which I told Neeraj sir and my director Bhav. And even for this, unfortunately, there's no way to meet Gaurav. But I intentionally didn't watch things of him because I didn't want to pause like him, talk like him, pick up anything. I wanted him to feel as real as possible from my lens of it. Yes, what you're doing, because you're dealing with a real story of a real human being, you don't want to mock it in any way.
True.
You don't want to take a pitching or a scaling which seems just to irk a reaction out of you as an audience. You want to keep it as true to the tone as you can, because you are dealing with a subject that is sensitive. It's unfortunately what makes his story interesting is the fact that he did pass away in a mysterious way, in a very short span of a very well-decorated career. And he was largely celebrated around the world, maybe the generation of today doesn't know of Gaurav Tiwari, but he was called to different corners of the world, to haunted sites, to talk about the paranormal world, his learnings of it. So, dealing with all that, you just want to be sensitive towards it because there are still people of his family that are attached to it. They will at some point watch this show. So you don't want to kind of make them feel like यार ये कहानी ना बहुत गलत तरीके से आपने बता दी तो उतनी आप sensitivity लेके चलना चाहते हो as far as is it difficult to play a real character versus a fictional character. I feel like that's what you're doing as an actor, right? The more difficult, and I'd like to change that word to challenging. Because it is about challenging, and because you're not difficult is the very stands on a line of यार ये करना बड़ा मुश्किल है, ये करना बड़ा challenging आपको excite करता है. तो जब कोई चीज challenging होती है उसमें मजा आता है और challenging दोनों ही है क्योंकि to jump off a page of lines and to breathe life into it, whether it's of a real person or otherwise, they're both equally challenging. I think I would like to give both of them equal merit.
But I mean, that's the job, I guess, of the actor, and you all have been doing it wonderfully. I don't have a lot of time, but I want to end with the fact that it's called Bhay. And all of us, especially in this industry, I think we don't voice it out too much, but there's a simmering fear about perhaps a lot of things, maybe fame, when your next project is going to come by. With Karan having spent so many years now in the industry, is there anything at all about the industry that is a bit of a mystery to you even today? And Danish, although you have not spent that many years, but is there anything that is still a mystery you would want to unravel at a certain point about the industry?
Actually, COVID was a real learning for me as far as the business of entertainment is concerned. What made me realize in COVID is that we are a part of an industry and a business that is going to get crumpled and crashed at a drop of a hat when something like a calamity happens, right? Because nobody cares about entertainment, nobody cares about actors, nobody cares about putting on a television. So we are in a very, very difficult profession in that way. So my fear as an actor is that I just hope entertainment always is consumed. I feel like the younger generation of today finds experiences in different things. Your real life experiences, which are maybe concerts, maybe eating out. So there is a real shift in the idea of consumption of entertainment and the idea of entertainment in general. So yes, as an actor, that fear always remains. That I hope that in times to come, I'm consumed as an actor, just like how I have been.
For all these years.
And it's not about adulation or fame, but you just find some kind of a transparent connect with the audience all the time.
Absolutely, and I'm into that. I hope it keeps happening because आप काम करते रहोगे तो हम काम करते रहेंगे. It's a correlated job there. Danish.
I mean, the only thing that I feel like that there obviously are so many factors, and we've only realized that we're just mere objects in this whole thing, the industry that works, and how years have just changed us. But I really hope, the only fear that I genuinely feel that I would have is that I wish I can give my all and give in whatever work that I do, and give what I can actually give in terms of my ability, in terms of my craft. That's it. And if 3 projects do it, well and good, they haven't done it. So let's just go for as many.